Chums, welcome back to a Game with Chums podcast. I am your host, slightly ill, slightly bunged up Paulus. I'm wearing a beanie today because I just came for a run and I'm all sweaty. I haven't had time for a shower. We're doing this on the bank holiday here in the UK. I still got to work. Muggins here. My co-host, the beautiful Mr. Ross, he's got the day off. They got the day off, and yeah, so it was a bit of a rush. I'm all over the place. I've just eaten, still a bit sweaty, got a cold. It's going great for me. How the hell are you, Mr. Ross?
I'm good. I'm on day 4 of a 4-day weekend, so it's been very nice.
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I'm so happy for you, mate. Like when I was at work, because I'm doing the like continental, I work alongside the Americans. That's why I don't get the day off. They're all saying, "Oh, happy Easter! Enjoy your time off and all that." And I was just sitting there like, oh, "Shut up!" And they were like, "Oh, it's all right. Americans get more bank holidays." I was like, "Not that many." UK, well, in England, I know Scotland got one extra. I
Yeah.
think there's eight in England and Wales and Northern. I think Northern Ireland get more as well because they got St. Patrick's Day off as well.
Mm.
So we got the least bank holidays, but I think the Americans get two more,
Mm.
two more. I think they get so they get 10, but it's all like all over the place. Like one on the Tuesday, Wednesday. It's just really random. So yeah.
You want them on the
And
weekend, really, so you get a long weekend out of it.
yeah, you want them on a Friday or a Monday or something like that, not in the middle of the week. It's not great. They can't help that because it's like Veterans Day and Martin Luther King and stuff like that. And June the 13th, it's independence for, I don't know. I think it's something to do with black history or something like that. I think
Juneteenth, isn't it?
Juneteenth. Yeah, I think it's like that's a
Can't remember
fairly
what day
new
it
one.
is. It's like 15th or something, isn't it?
Yeah. So we get that. That's new. But yeah. A lot has happened since the the last the last podcast. Nintendo have unveiled. They had their unveiling of the Switch 2. Did you watch the Nintendo Direct?
Didn't watch it live because Nintendo have a habit of
Mm,
doing these things at 2 p.m. on a
yeah,
Tuesday or whatever, so I'm at work.
yeah,
So I had
yeah,
to watch it when I got back. I took my lunch break slightly late, so I watched a bit of it at work at my desk, and
yeah,
people were probably looking at me thinking, what the fuck are they doing over there?
yeah,
Watching a Nintendo Direct on my phone at my desk. So
yeah,
I saw like the opening 15 minutes of it or something, and then I had to watch it when I got
yeah,
home.
yeah. I watched the bits of it. I normally get my information from social media, the reactions. Because I'm not. I'm not like the only ones I really pay attention to is the Xbox showcase, which they have one coming up in June, and they got Bethesda. Is it Bethesda has an Outer Worlds 2 sort of section
Yeah, Obsidian.
presentation. Sorry, Obsidian. Outer Worlds 2 showcase
That
as
was
well.
too direct.
Yeah, so that's good. I'm not really like Sony's showcases have been few and far between, not very good even to be
Like,
honest.
they don't even really do them anymore. They just do a
No,
random state of play.
yes.
Apparently, there's been a rumor going around that they're going to do a proper showcase this year, so we'll see.
What have they got to showcase though? There's not much, is there?
They haven't got
Ghost,
much announced.
yeah. It's mostly
Ghost of
there because
Yotei
yeah,
and Naughty Dog's new game Interstellar, I guess.
and has Lost Souls. No, has Lost Lost Abide. I should know this because I'm actually working on some of the
Lost
artwork.
Solar Side.
No, that's the one. Yeah, yeah. That's no one's really talking about that one.
Yeah, it's not an
Um,
internal first party game, is it? I don't think.
no,
I think it's third
no, it's
party.
just third party. Like yeah. So it's been a bit of a lean year for PlayStation. They seem to be mostly concentrating on like their dual sense and their peripheral and their bundles and that's
And their
about
remasters.
and oh yeah, another remaster of the Last of Us, the complete edition
Well, it's
of
not a
two
remaster, it's just
games,
a bundle of
just a bundle of the two
a
games.
re-release.
Yeah,
It's
so
like
that's
90
good,
quid or
isn't
something.
it? I think people are getting a bit fed up with that, to be honest with you. Even the die-hard Sony fans are just like that. This game again. This, it's not even complete because there's still part 3 to come. Well, maybe, I don't know. Like Neil Druckmann's been very cagey about doing the third game, and like you said, they got a new IP coming out that they're working on. So will there be a Last of Us 3 part
I
3?
bet there will be at some point towards the end. Well,
The
not
end of
towards the end of the gen because they'd have to be working on it now to release it at the end of this gen. But I bet there'll be a
yeah,
third part at some point because the first two have been
yeah.
very successful.
At this point, the Last of Us TV show has come out, season 2. Online is a lot of, you know what happened. And we who's played the game, we all knew what was going to happen. And like the amount of like people saying, I hate Abby. I was like, oh, this poor actress. It's happening
Mm.
all over again. It's happening
Joffrey
again.
all over again.
It's happening again. Like with the game, like there's a lot of like sort of hate towards the character of Abby in the game. Now it's the actress who's getting the hate, and I was just like, oh Jesus Christ, it's happening all over again. The hate, it just doesn't stop. That's one thing we seem to have that's always consistent these days in the gaming world is people hating and being very, very toxic. That seems to be like
The
now the
mainstay of the culture.
mainstay of the culture. Yeah, I mean, like the Xbox released South of Midnight. I played a few hours of it. I think it's really good. And I was surprised. I didn't think the combat was going to be that tight and good, but I've enjoyed it, and the combat is really good. It's not people have. I knew it was going to happen when anything with like Xbox, and plus because the main character is black and it explores black history. There's going to be a
And
lot
she's
of
a woman.
and she's a woman. There's going to be a lot of negativity. The character is great. She's lovable. She's kind. She's interesting, and I don't understand. I just every 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 time there's always got to be something. People are like, oh, it's not racist. Well, I'm thinking it kind of is, and sexist, when misogynist. It is all of that. They can't just keep hiding behind like saying it's a bad game because it's not. It's not a bad game, and people are sort of gleefully like bringing up stats on Steam and the low player count and everything like that, and they're just taking delight from like the game not doing as well as like they think it was going to do. But I think the game's doing fine. It's on PlayStation. It's on Game Pass, so a lot of people probably playing it there. That's how I'm playing it. So play the game, man. It is a good game. It's a really good. I don't know if it's going to be a game of the year because I think Split Fiction, what we're playing through at the moment, is really good. It's a fun
Absurdly good
game.
game. It's very,
Yeah,
very good.
very good. Um, so let's talk about like the Nintendo Switch 2, Mr. Ross. Can I ask you one question?
No,
Okay, that's it.
no, go on.
Uh, are you going to buy the Switch 2?
I've already pre-ordered it,
You already
and
pre-ordered.
yeah. So let's talk about the price, I guess, because
Uh,
I think it's higher than a lot of people were expecting. It's about where I expected it to be honest, given how expensive everything else is this year. So we'll talk about
mhm,
your UK pricing because we're from the UK, we live here, and that's the price we'll be paying. It's a weird price, 395.99, £396 is a strange price, but
mhm,
I was expecting 400 for it. Whether or not that came bundled with anything, I was like, who knows? But I was
mhm,
expecting it to be 400 quid, given how expensive everything else is. Like the other consoles are more expensive now than when they came out. Um, I think the Series X has gone up by like 50 quid. The PS5 has gone up by quite a bit, I think. I think it's risen more than 50 quid. Um, the Switch one came out at 300. So I was like, there's no way in the current economy that it's going to come out at the same price unless it's just a piece of crap, which it isn't. Um, so yeah, I pre-ordered one because, to be honest, I have a lot of Switch games I haven't played yet because I just got sick of the performance of that console. Like there are games that are like 360p and under 30 FPS, and I was just like, I can't play games like this bad anymore. So,
mhm,
but I was hoping they'd get upgrades on Switch 2, and they have talked about that for some games, but not enough. So we
mhm.
know there's older games are getting upgraded to 1440p 60 from like 900p 20 to 30.
Mhm.
So those are probably going to be my launch games. But yes, I did just go, screw it and pre-order it.
Mm. um, my I don't know. Am I going to get a Switch 2? I don't know. I know it's not going to go down in price.
If anything, it'll go up.
It'll probably go up in price. It's been a long time, man. It's a long time coming. It's always a bit hit and miss with this with Nintendo. Sometimes, like they always have one generation which does phenomenal numbers, and then there's another console that does not so great. It's a bit like hit and miss. I know the Wii U didn't do too well, and then the Switch came out and that did really well. So the Switch 2, I mean, at least they're consistent with the naming. It's just called the Switch 2. It's not called something else, like some other
Switch
weird.
U or something.
So yeah, something else. It just looks like a regular Switch, to be honest with you. I think it's the screen's bigger, isn't it? Have
Yeah,
you got
so
this?
it's gone from, I think the old one was 6.2 inches and this one's 7.9, so it's a fair bit bigger. The
Hmm.
main thing for me is the bezels are a lot smaller because the bezel on the Switch one is just horrific.
Hmm.
I've been playing a bit of Mario Kart 8 the last few days because it's kind of got me excited to play the new Mario Kart. And just looking at the thing, it's like this little postage stamp in the middle of this big black box, and it's just like, what are they thinking with these bezels? But yeah, the screen's quite a bit bigger. The console itself is bigger. The Joy-Cons are bigger, which is a plus because
And the
the
Joy-Cons
ones
magnetic
they are, yeah, they're
now.
now
Yeah.
magnetic rather than
Mm-hmm.
on rails. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see how sturdy that is. Because I know a lot of people's Joy-Cons started to get a bit rattly after a while as like the
Yeah.
connection loosened up.
Mm. Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, sorry, Carol.
but yeah, just saying the Joy-Cons are a bit bigger, so they might be a bit more comfortable to hold.
Hmm.
People coming out of because they've done. You remember when the Switch one was coming out, we went to that event. I think it was up near London Bridge, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That
Yeah.
pre-release event where you could go and play it and play some of the games. This was
This
before
is
we had a channel, so we didn't video it or
exactly.
anything.
Yeah, yeah. I was about to say that. This is
Yeah,
pre-game with chums. Yeah,
pre-chums, but they're
pre
doing the same
chums.
thing. They've been doing the same thing with the Switch 2, having like similar events. I think the one in London was actually at the XL a couple of weeks ago maybe. And
Uh
yeah, we didn't even talk about it. We didn't even discuss it, let alone try and get to it.
I didn't even know about it, to be honest with you, mate.
They
Yeah,
announced it after because they did the announcement of the Switch 2 a couple of months back, didn't they? Just that quick
yeah,
trailer,
yeah.
and then they said like we're going to do a direct in early April to talk about it more. But they announced
Mm.
after that announcement that there was going to be like events around the world, but I just didn't pay any attention. There's been people coming out of that saying the Joy-Cons are a lot more comfortable this time, so that's a plus. So we'll have to wait
Yeah,
and see, I guess.
yeah. The pricing of the games is another point of contention.
Yeah,
They set what they're going to be like 70. I'm going to say in dollars. Is it 70 or $80? Something ridiculously high like that.
I think they're kind of all over the place. There are some that are
Uh,
70, some that are 80. I
it's a
think they're
lot of
going.
money.
I think they're pushing their new like premium games to $80, which is just nuts. But yeah, that's the thing.
Mm,
Like, the console coming out at 400, I was like, well, that's what I expected. But the game pricing is fully insane. Like, and
uh,
there's a difference between digital and physical as well, which we don't
mm,
tend. Well, actually, we do tend to see it here. It's usually the other way around. It's usually cheaper physical than it is digital in the
uh,
UK, but now it's the other way around. So like Mario Kart World is 66.99 digitally or 74.99. This is UK pricing.
mm.
74.99 for physical Mario Kart, £75 for a game.
Yeah. Um, this is a thing we're going to touch on a bit later. Pricing of games because it is getting a bit high, and for us, it's doable. I mean, I don't like the price. I think like game pricing of games is getting extremely high. Like whatever everything else, inflation and everything costs, they are getting higher. And I understand that they gotta sort of make some sort of money. It's all about money, of course it is. So I understand, but it's getting to the point where when are we going to get like, are we going to get to the point where we're going to be paying £100 for a game? Is that going to be the new norm now? Because
Next
I
gen, I bet
remember
you it will be.
I remember when games were fairly cheaper back in the day, like the 360 era was reasonable, you know,
Games are
PlayStation
40 quid,
3. Yeah, I remember I
and
was
that was
going
that was
ham
top
crazy.
whack.
Yeah, yeah. I remember paying like and then about 30, 40 quid. And sometimes there was like discounts on it. Like I remember when we used to have like HMV, Game Station, Game, and they were like always like
Virgin
slashing their
Megastore.
yeah, they were slashing their prices to stay competitive. I miss those days, man. I miss those days. You
And now
know,
all
and
those retailers are gone as well.
pretty much, yeah.
Game's
I
the only
think
one that survives, and it's
yeah,
only
that's
going to be like
hanging on.
concessions in a Sports Direct from now on. They're
Yeah.
closing almost all their stores, I think.
Oh, it's such a shame. I used to love a good game store. There was one in Croydon where near where we're from. Well, yeah, it was a place that we went frequented. They opened a brand new game inside the shopping center, and we went there and we loved it. It was nice. It was big. It was clean. It was bright. There had a lot of like games there, and I really dug it. And that didn't last too long, and that closed down. And then they moved to the high street and in that dingy little shitty store that they had. Remember that one? Tiny one. I still liked it
Mm,
because it was like because it was so small, narrow, but they crammed everything. So it was quite good, but I did prefer the new look sort of stores there because they had
the
one
new
in
one.
Bromley Glade. They had one that was similar to the Croydon one. That still was lasted for a while. And that I like that one as well. And I mean, I miss game stores. You know,
Mm,
like we spent many Saturday and Sunday perusing through like all these like high street stores that sold video games, looking for deals, looking for games. We always used to buy something. It was a
yeah.
Blu-ray, DVD, or a video game, or some sort of physical media.
Well,
And
that's the thing. Like when we were younger, like we'd meet up and go for a drink on a Saturday, and then we
yeah.
do what we used to call the Sunday adventure, where we just go into town and just like go around all the game shops and the DVD shops and everything, like
Mm,
looking at like Japanese horror films and anime and video games and stuff, and
yeah.
looking for new metal CDs. And that was
Oh yeah.
basically our whole Sunday, just doing that and then just going for a
Yeah.
beer. And
Yeah.
can't do
Yeah.
that anymore because none of those shops exist anymore.
None of them are there. I mean, like we've been talking about doing a video for the channel of going into a game store and setting ourselves like a little challenge, X amount of money. What game can we find? But yeah, it's like there's no, there's like probably there's not. I think there's only one place that we could do it in Croydon that I think will be good. Um, but before there was like so many we could probably do it in, but now
Mm,
I can't do it anywhere. I think the place is called Play Nation. I think that's still there.
assuming it's still there.
I think it's still there. There's not much left in Croydon, and we'll be taking our lives in our hands going doing that, going
Yeah,
Croydon. You know what I
filming
mean?
ourselves as well.
Yeah, yeah, like fucking cameras and no, our phones and stuff. So it'll be a bit dodge. So maybe we should switch it up to a less like hazardous area of London that we can get to
Maybe.
easily. Yeah, so I was thinking about that. But yeah, now games are ridiculously expensive. I mean, there's talk of the new GTA 6 that could be the first £100 or $100 game on its release. There's talk about that, and
It feels
I'm
like
really,
analysts are pushing for it rather than suggesting it's going to happen.
I mean, if that does happen, people will buy it because people love GTA, and that's just going to encourage people, the other developers, to try a similar approach of
Can you
buy
imagine
of set.
EA feeling enabled to
Okay,
sell £100 games?
Jesus Christ.
£100 FIFA stuffed with Ultimate Team microtransactions as well.
Yeah. I mean, like everyone just goes, "Oh, Nintendo are a video game company. They care about the consumers." And I always used to think, I always used to shake my head and think, no, they're still a business. Nintendo business practices are pretty like not shady. They're pretty strict. They're not consumer
They're
friendly.
very conservative,
Yeah, they still got
not
that
in a
like
political sense, but like a,
yeah
you know,
business sort of sense.
mm,
Like, um, yeah, people love Nintendo, and Nintendo don't get seem to get the same amount of like criticism as say like the Xbox or PlayStation, like more so Xbox. But um I don't know what it is with Nintendo, how they can sort of they don't receive the same sort of criticisms as these as like the other games companies. They get away with a lot. I mean, on YouTube, let's take an example. They will, if you use any of their sort of game footage, they will come down on you like a ton of bricks. They are very like copyright strike heavy. They
Well, I
do not
remember
like, yeah.
I've mentioned this before, but when Mario Kart 8 came out on the Wii U, it included a functionality that you could log into YouTube and upload your replays like straight from the console to YouTube. I
Mhm.
was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So I just did it just for a bit of fun. And they immediately claim the videos like the second they go up. And I was
Yeah,
like, oh,
yeah,
yeah, that's Nintendo, all right.
yeah. Nintendo are not the champions of gaming as everyone likes to
Yeah,
to um to sort of put them on that sort of pedestal. They're not. They're not. Their practices are in the dark ages. Like I think Xbox and PlayStation are more progressive in their way of like letting gamers like use their footage to for YouTube videos or anything like that. They're more than happy to have you promote because it's free publicity in a way, you
mm,
know. So I mean, if Xbox did what Nintendo do, there'll be an absolute shitstorm. But luckily, we got people in charge who understand the value of like say like I don't want to say influencers, I want to say like content creators. What that could that does help. So you know, but yeah,
yeah,
like it's a lot of money, man. I mean, like, and I got a
yeah.
Switch. I haven't touched that thing. I moved into my new flat 2 years ago. I still not even connected it to the internet or the Wi-Fi. Like my girlfriend came over and goes, "Oh, there's your Switch." She had the Steam Deck, and I was contemplating like, should I buy a Steam Deck? Because like when she's playing it, I was like, oh, let's have a go at that. Wow, this is good. She was playing I think that like the Halo or Halo 2 or something. I was like, wow, this is really responsive. Get it. She was like, well, you barely play your Switch. I was like, barely. Don't. It's not, I took it off its little charging port, blew the dust off, switched it on. I was like, it's not even connected to the Wi-Fi. I was like, why do I really want to like spend £400 on a Switch 2, which I might not ever play? I probably will play it when it first comes out. Like if I buy it, I'm gonna play the games, but then I'll probably just be like, okay, that's fun. There you go, on the shelf, leave you there for a while. Buy games for it because I've got like a stack full of games still in there
Same.
wrapping, not been touched. I'm just like, oh, I got that game. There we go. Yeah, wait here, stay there, and they've never played it. And another thing Nintendo don't do, they don't bloody lower their prices of their games. Their games
Yeah.
stay the same price, even like 2 or 3 years after. They
That's
still
the main
remain the
issue.
same price.
That's the main issue with
Yeah.
these game prices going up because they're never going to come down.
Mm,
Like you want Mario Kart World
mm.
in 5 years, you're still paying 75 quid for it. It's
Unless you
just,
get it secondhand.
yeah.
Unless you get it, secondhand. Oh, they're not got that. What was the DRM? Have they? They haven't got that, have they?
No,
No, they haven't. Because if they tried to pull a, they tried
this
to pull
is,
a. Because I saw memes saying like, comparing like the Xbox One reveal to the Switch 2 reveal. Remember when old Don Matrix said, "Oh, if you want to play like
yeah, because they
Xbox
came
games
out and,
offline, yeah,
well, yeah, because
buy a 360."
Doug Bowser
Yeah.
basically came out and said if you can't afford a Switch 2, buy a Switch 1. So
Oh
people were like
God.
saying, oh, that's similar to what Don Matrix said. It was a very,
Yeah.
very stupid thing to say. But yeah, people were thinking of whether they'd have some DRM because obviously they're re-releasing some of their games from Switch 1 as Switch 2 versions. So you can get Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom as Switch 2 versions. It has the
Tough.
Switch 1 version on the cart and it's got the upgrade pack for the Switch 2. So
Mm,
people were like, well, if it's a code in the box for the upgrade pack, what if someone redeems that and then they sell the
mm,
game on and then the next person that buys it is just going to get the Switch 1 game and no upgrade pack? So people were a bit
mm.
worried about that. But it sounds like the upgrade pack is actually on the cartridge, so
Oh,
at least
that's
that's
good.
something.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. Do you have on hand these sort of specs of the Switch 2?
They haven't really given properly detailed specs of it. It's a Tegra 8 core processor, I think, with a GPU based on I think it's NVIDIA's Ampere architecture, which I think was I can't remember if that was 20 or 30 series off the top of my head now. Um,
Yeah.
it's pretty capable. The main thing is the screen. There are a lot of rumors before it was announced. People saying it's going to be a 120 hertz screen with VRR and HDR, and I was like, yeah, okay, there's absolutely no way you're
Yeah.
going to get a bog standard 60 hertz LCD with bad color reproduction. And it is, it's 120 hertz VRR and HDR. So I was like, well, I was very wrong. Very glad to be wrong because that is a very
Yeah.
good screen. That's
Yeah.
basically, I mean, the ROG Ally has a
Mhm.
120 hertz um,
Isn't that
1080p screen as well, but it doesn't have HDR, so it's actually got
isn't
it beat
that
in that sense.
isn't that going to get really hot? How like when they're
Well,
playing it, isn't it like you're playing that, you're like, oh, this thing's getting hot, man.
well, the thing with Nintendo is they massively underclock their processors so they don't generate as much
Uh,
heat, but mainly for battery life.
okay.
Um, I think they've said like 2 to 6.5 hours battery life. So if you're playing like a demanding game, you're going to get on the much on the low end of that.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what the battery size is. I saw some people saying it's a 20 watt hour battery, which is pitiful. I don't know if that's true or not, but I mean the ROG Ally, you can get under an hour battery life on that thing, and it's got a 40 watt hour battery.
Yeah.
So, but then it runs at much higher clocks than
Mhm.
the Switch 2 does.
Yeah.
But I'm
What's
kind of expecting the Switch 2 battery life to be pretty comparable to the Ally, to be honest. I think it's going to be very much on the low end of that range.
what's the onboard internal storage?
256, which is a lot better than 32 on the original, which was low even then.
250 gig,
256 gig, yeah.
250, but that's not all going to be available because you
Yeah,
never
some
get
of it
all
will
that.
obviously be eaten up by the system.
So you probably like realistically 230,
Probably
maybe.
somewhere around that, maybe a bit
Yeah.
higher. It's still not
Yeah.
bad. And obviously the Switch 2 isn't really acting the same way as the other consoles where you have to install a physical game fully to it.
Uh-huh.
Which is still annoying. I mean, I get it. The drive read speeds are too slow to actually stream the data off the disk. Um, and obviously, having an SSD would be pointless if you were just reading off the disk anyway. But
Yeah.
I get it. But it still annoys me that we have to do that on the other consoles. But the Switch 2, obviously, they'll just play off the carts. So you only have to really worry about digital games you're going to buy. Which, to be honest, if they're going to be 10 quid cheaper, a lot of people are probably going to go increasingly more digital this gen on the Switch 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Do we know what kind of size the games will be in that tiny little cartridge? It's the same sort of same. They have not changed.
Yeah, same form factor, but it's red
Yeah.
instead of grey.
Oh,
But
okay.
apparently there are only two sizes of them. That's 8 gig and 64 gig.
Oh,
So
64 is
that
pretty
means,
big.
yeah, 64 is pretty big, but that's probably going to be an expensive card.
Yeah.
And another thing that's sort of come out in the wash after the direct is that some of these games are basically download keys. So like
Uh,
Bravely Default HD Remaster got announced, which I'm excited about because I really like that game. Had it on the 3DS, but it's basically just it's a cart and it just prompts the game to a full game to download from the servers, which I think kind of sucks. So I think
uh,
we're going to see more of that because if a game doesn't fit on 8 gig,
uh-huh.
publishers aren't going to spring for the full 64 gig cart if their game's like 16 gig or something. They're just going to put it
Yeah.
on a bloody download key, which is annoying.
Uh, uh. Um, Speaking of games, the new Hades is a timed exclusive, and people are a bit annoyed about that. So Nintendo are doing those sort of PlayStation-esque deals now, having as a time. I don't know how long the timed exclusive is. Do
Don't
you
know.
have no? No,
The
so it
first
could be
game was
fun.
as well. The first Hades
Yeah.
game came out as first on Switch, but I can't remember
Ah,
how far behind
uh,
the other ones were. I
uh,
think it was a
yeah,
fair, I think they were a fair bit behind, but I think that was
yeah.
mainly because, Supergiant are a small dev team and they just wanted to focus on where they thought they'd get the best returns because obviously the Switch was going absolutely gangbusters at the time, still is.
Well, it's a
Um,
launch. It's a launch game, though, isn't it? So
mm,
it's a bit. It doesn't have to. Well, maybe other. It is playable on the Switch One, isn't it?
I
Hades
think so.
2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, that game kind of makes sense as well, to be fair. It is like more of a handheldy sort of type game. It sort of works more for that.
Very pick up and play, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, I've played it and yeah, I would be like I was thinking this will be good on the handheld. I'll enjoy it more. Like instead of playing it on the console, I was like, I could sort of pick this up and play and get immersed in it and stuff like that. But yeah. So yeah, Hades, I think it's good on the handheld. Anything else? Should we talk about what's been going on? We're not a politics podcast. We're very much a gaming podcast and other such nerdy things as in the description of our podcast. But we've got to talk about the world and how it's the current state of affairs and how that's affecting pricing in the world. Um, I don't want to call him. I've got to be careful with my words. The current president, Trump. Um, that guy. He's a bit mad. That's putting it.
It's very
Can't I?
mild.
Is putting it mildly. He's all over the place. So he's put tariffs on most countries
Everywhere.
everywhere apart from, and he seems to be having a trade war with China, which is not going to end well because they make everything because they pay their stuff, they pay their employees nothing, but we benefit from it because it's cheaper. But
Yay, globalism and
yeah,
consumerism.
it's great, isn't it? Yeah, those poor bloody bastards in the factories building our iPhones and
And jumping off the
electronics.
roof when they've had
Jump,
enough.
yeah. Uh, it's a it's a shitty state of affairs, and I don't know. That's the world we live in at the moment. Um, God, I hope to God we can find some way of rectifying this, but it's some money in politics, and it's like an average person like ourselves, average people like ourselves. We we're just sort of like we're just the consumer, and yeah, but he's put tariffs on, and as a result of that, things are going to get a bit pricey, including the imports, which include PlayStation and Nintendo. So let's talk about that, Ross, for a bit.
Well, it includes Xbox as well because they're also made in China. So
Fuck
includes
yeah.
pretty much all electronics.
But are they
So
going to put? Is it tariffs on their products that they own, though?
anything coming into the country from those countries.
Oh
So
bollocks!
even like the
Even
Xbox
iPhones and stuff.
is designed in the US. The iPhones are
Yeah,
designed in the US, but they're manufactured in China and then imported into the country. So those will count as Chinese imports.
uh,
So yeah, literally anything coming into the country. And the whole thing is that Trump doesn't understand the difference between tariffs and trade deficits, but we're not going to get into that because, basically, very quick thing. If if a country sells more to America than America sells to them, that's a trade deficit. And Trump seems to think that's a tariff because he's a fucking idiot.
do
Um,
you know what? Do you know what? Do you know what chicken filled with chlorophyll? Or is it
chlorinated chicken,
chlorinated chicken?
chlorine.
Sorry, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Do you want that? Like
no
just
thanks.
full of steroids and shit.
Chlorinated chicken, hormone beef,
Yeah,
GMO
you telling me
corn.
that doesn't sound delicious to you?
This is the problem. People don't want to buy other countries don't want to buy American goods
Yeah,
because they don't think they're good enough.
yeah,
So Trump
yeah,
wants to punish other countries for not wanting to buy their stuff, basically. But anyway, this means
yeah,
that
yeah,
stuff is going to
yeah,
go up.
yeah,
Nintendo delayed the pre-order window for the Switch 2 because of this, because literally the day after they announced it, Trump
uh-huh,
brought these tariffs in. And I think last time I looked at it, he put tariffs on China of up to 145%. So anything coming in from China would now be 145% more expensive. So nearly one and a half times more.
uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah.
So Nintendo
Yeah.
delayed it, and people losing their mind and going, "Oh my God, this thing's going to cost $1,000." And then
So
just
it's
the other day, they announced that they're going to put it out for the same price,
uh,
but they reserve the right to raise it later. I think what that's telling us is they probably have a massive stockpile of consoles in the country already, so they're going to sell what they have at launch at that price. But then after that, they'll have to ship more in from China and Vietnam, which is where they also manufacture
yeah.
them. Um,
Yeah.
and those ones are probably going to be more expensive. They're putting the price on accessories up as well,
Uh,
including amiibos and everything. So that's probably where they're going to try and claw some of it back. But I think the fact they haven't raised the price of the Switch 2 points to the fact they've probably got a load sitting in US warehouses already, ready to be sold. Um,
oh,
but
yeah.
Sony also raised prices of the PlayStation 5 um, in the wake of this, but not in America. Everywhere else. Well,
Everywhere
Europe,
we
UK,
yeah,
Canada, I
we
don't
got to
know,
foot the bill.
Australia. Yeah,
We
so it
got
seems like other regions are paying for Trump's tariffs and Americans are
uh,
getting off scot-free, which I'm not going to blame
uh,
American consumers for that, but certainly going to blame Sony for that.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna blame Sony for that as well. Jesus Christ.
I honestly think that's kind
Thanks.
of despicable, to be honest, to do that.
Uh, any thought of me buying a PlayStation sort of gone out the window now anyway. So I mean they're getting a lot of games coming over from Xbox. Uh they had Indiana Jones release a while not too long ago. People creaming their pants about that, and I was just like, well, that's an Xbox game. It's all of a
Forza
sudden it's
Horizon in a few
great.
days as well.
Yeah, it's all of a sudden it's great. It's a great game. Funny that, but that's a different topic. Well, we've discussed that so much. We think we've had we it's like it's a what else can we say about it? We could complain about it all we want. I mean, South of Midnight will probably be a game of the year when if it comes out on PlayStation. So there we go. Or
It'll
maybe
certainly
not
be more
because
warmly received when it
it won't
hits
be
PlayStation.
because of the premise and the character and stuff like
Yeah, but
that.
that's
So yeah,
I honestly think that's a people that are extremely fragile and have their fragile sensibilities upset by being reminded that other people exist. I honestly think they're kind of a loud minority.
yeah, yeah, yeah. God. So yeah, it's all it's at the moment it's like in the world. I'm not just like talking about video games. It's a very sort of delicate situation here with old Trump with his tariffs. Our hobbies and pastimes, like gaming, is going to be more expensive. Uh, our prime minister's trying to make a deal with him, and I'm like, why cozy up to the US? We got a big neighbor who are a bigger like population, that bigger union just next door. Why don't we like cozy up to them instead of cozying up to that guy?
That would be
Probably,
an idea, wouldn't it?
yeah. I mean, like, I think Trump will probably have a big sort of like he probably want our NHS privatize that, and this older Kia probably will. Oh, we're getting too much into politics here. Like, I'm just trying to say he's got no backbone, old Kia. So, yeah, he probably
We're
fold like,
basically going to be Salacious B. Crumb sitting on the shoulder of Jabba the Hutt.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's UK's place in the world now, I think, unfortunately.
yeah, instead of like the neighbor literally across the small channel, we're going over to the crazy
To the nut house.
nut house that is the Trump administration. But anyway, here we are. Yeah. So PlayStation 2, Switch 2 kept the name. It worked. They don't have to do anything weird or innovative. Has they got features similar to the Kinect? Did I see that correctly? That it's got like a move function, like it can track your movement.
I don't think so. You can buy a camera separately that we did completely forget to mention,
Yeah, yeah. Is it
and you
that
can
similar
use
to
it for like
Kinect?
game chat and stuff. I don't think it has Connect type features. I think it's mainly for like game chat, and there are I don't know. Maybe there's stuff you can do in Mario Party. They did show using it in Mario Party, but I don't play Mario Party, so I just kind of switched my brain off for that point.
That because you have no friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Go on. Go on. Hey, come on. It's a joke, man. Let's not be too serious here. Come on. Hey, 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 hey.
No,
We've
I
been
don't
told
know.
we're too serious. So
I've only played a bit of one Mario Party years, but I think it was on the GameCube or something. And I was just like, this is fine, I guess. But games aren't really for me. But I
it's
don't
the
know. They
launch.
did show some stuff with the camera with that, so maybe there was
Yeah.
like some new stuff. I don't wasn't paying
Uh,
attention.
yeah. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. Who knows? Um, yeah, the launch
Hold
game
on,
is
sorry,
it?
I've just noticed something.
Oh,
I've got a table of like the console and accessories open that shows the UK price, the dollar price, and the euro price. Switch 2 camera in America is 49.99, and here it's 58.99.
we great.
Why is
Yeah.
it so much more expensive exactly? Given that the
Um,
UK the pound is a stronger currency than the US, so typically, generally, if you see parity between a US and a UK price, it means we're getting shafted. The fact that we're paying more for it is just what's
yeah.
going on there.
Yeah. Yeah. We can open a tin of worms there, mate. A can of worms or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, the launch game for the Switch is Mario Kart, right? Is
Yeah.
that the one? And wait, with that bundled with the PlayStation, that increase PlayStation, the Switch, that increases the it obviously increases the price. So where's that 480 then?
No, it's
Am I
430. So
oh
if you
really?
buy that bundle, you're basically getting Mario Kart for 34 quid.
Yeah, for
But
nearly
obviously
a quarter
it's a
price.
digital code, but I mean it's
Ah,
still a good deal.
not physical.
Yeah. Which
That's
is
a shame.
obviously where they're saving the money, but it's
Uh,
still a if you take into account the pieces by themselves, it's a good deal. It's expensive
what?
still, but
Why isn't there no like Legend of Zelda launch for it, eh? Like
well,
with
that's
the
the thing.
original.
They're re-releasing them as Switch 2 versions, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
It's
But
just the
if
same
you have the
game.
Switch 1 version, you can either buy the new version for like 70 quid or something crazy like that, or
Uh-huh.
you can use your Switch 1 cards, and but then you have to pay for the upgrades, which I think are £10 each for the upgrades.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
they are kind of it feels like they are nickel and diming people, to use an American phrase, with this launch a lot. Like the console price has gone
Yeah.
up, the game price has gone up. If you want upgrades, you've got to pay for them. They announced that welcome tour thing, which looks like a tech demo, and that's a paid download as well. Um,
Fucking hell.
yeah, so
Oh,
literally, it feels like they are just like anywhere they can, they'll get you for a few quid.
uh,
If you have their online subscription, then you get the Zelda upgrades for free at least. Well, I say free, obviously you have
uh,
to pay for the subscription. But
uh,
you can get that subscription for 25 quid a year if you look around
yeah.
online. So it's
Um,
not the worst
can,
thing in the
can,
world.
can I just say I'm a bit underwhelmed with the launch game? I'm a bit underwhelmed. It's just another Mario Kart. It's the same fucking premise, you know what I mean? It's like people complain about Halo. Oh, it's the same thing. I'm like, well, you've played fucking Mario Kart. It's the same bloody thing all the time. It's the same thing. It is, man. Come on. As much as I like Mario Kart, it is the same game, just with
Yeah.
some extra features on it. You know.
Do you know, I bought Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U because I was one of the six
Uh,
people that actually owned a Wii U, and I
uh-huh,
enjoyed it quite a bit. And then when the Switch came out and they ported it as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which I think was the base game and any DLC they did for the Wii U version.
uh,
So I bought that, and I didn't really play it that much, to be honest.
uh-huh,
And they did a booster course where they added like 36 new tracks or something,
uh-huh.
which you could buy as a expansion, or you could if you subscribe to their online service, you get it as part of that. I
Yeah.
actually did subscribe to their service a couple of weeks ago, partly to get that, and then there's like a Splatoon 2 expansion that's on there, and for the Zelda upgrades.
Yeah.
And I've been playing it again recently in the last few days, and I've forgotten how annoying that game is.
Mm.
You're actively punished for racing well in that game. Get into first, and you just get hit by something
Uh-huh.
every 8 to 12 seconds, and then
Yeah.
you get his coins when you go through an item box.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean Mario Kart World, they're doing something different with it. It's kind of open world, and you can kind of do a free roam thing, but whether that's going to be I don't know. I watched the Mario Kart World Direct they did last week, I think, and I still kind of feel like I don't really get what they're doing with the open world stuff. So I don't
Uh,
know.
Fuck knows, mate. Um, I'm a bit surprised that Metroid hasn't been like announced, or the game that's been in development for a very long time. What's
8
happened
years,
with
I
that?
think, something like that.
Yeah, nothing. No, not a dicky bird. No one's even mentioned it. Have they just quietly canned it or something? I would have thought
No,
that would
they
have been perfect for a launch game. Like,
there
hey,
was
here it
there was
is.
a new trailer for it when they did their Switch One Direct a few weeks back, and then they've done some stuff on it
Uh-huh.
after the Switch Two Direct. So they did their Nintendo Treehouse stuff
Uh-huh.
for the few days after the Switch Two Direct, where they just showed a load of games, and they showed
Mm.
that as well.
What
And
did they show? What did they show of it? Gameplay?
like the opening level, I think
Ah,
we
okay,
played through
good.
the opening level on the first boss,
What?
and they showed that the Switch 2 Joy-Cons, which you can use as a mouse, which does look very uncomfortable to use it as a mouse. They were showing you can use that as like a mouse pointer controls for like your right stick controls.
Oh yeah.
Um, but I don't think it's got a date. I think all it is 2025 at the moment. I don't think it has a date. But I'm just annoyed that they put Metroid Prime Remastered out on Switch One and then haven't bothered with two and three because I'd like to. I've got Metroid Prime Trilogy on the Wii, but I'm not hooking the Wii up to replay those games. I was kind of hoping they,
Uh,
put the two and three on Switch before four
is
comes out. But
is isn't you could play not the Wii U games. What was the other console they had?
GameCube,
It's back GameCube. Yeah, it's not back compat, obviously, but they'll be doing a digital library, won't they? Something like that.
yeah. So,
Uh,
so again, part of their subscription is, and this is one thing some people really hate about them. If you want to play like, I think at the moment they have NES, SNES, Mega Drive,
mm,
N64.
yeah.
I think there's a couple of other consoles on there. They've got like virtual console like they used to
Mm,
do in the past, but you can't just
uh,
buy the games outright. You have to subscribe to their thing to play them,
yeah,
which is kind of annoying. So they're doing that
yeah.
with GameCube.
I mean, that's the only way they could do it. Obviously, like there was cartridges, there was tiny little discs, and yeah, I mean, like Nintendo's been out there. I thought they're like the new console will be completely different. Obviously, I knew it was going to be just another upgraded Switch, a new version. What works? It's because they've always changed every generation, haven't they? Apart from
Always
the
try
early
something a
days,
bit different. Yeah.
or apart from the early days, like actually even in the Super Nintendo, yeah, everything was different. Everything was different. I know they cartridges, but it was different cartridges. But everything was different. And now it's Switch 2 is pretty much the successor to Switch 1. So it's not even the Wii U was different, you know.
Mm. I
So
think you can kind of look at it in a similar way to like going from the DS to the 3DS, because that
yeah,
was again just like is basically a more powerful DS. Obviously, they had the 3D gimmick, which I think most people just turned the slider off after a while.
yeah,
But
I did,
even
yeah.
that, it took DS cartridges. Like you could just put a DS cartridge in that
Yeah,
cartridge slot and play your DS games, like you can do with the
yeah,
Switch 2 with Switch 1 games.
yeah, yeah,
But it feels a bit more similar to that.
yeah. All right. So you have yours on pre-order. I am still super undecided. Um,
Again, if I didn't have like a dozen Switch 1 games I want to play and haven't got around to, I probably wouldn't have. I
but
have,
are you gonna play it though?
yeah,
Are you?
I've got games that I
Are
really want
you?
to play, but I just didn't want to deal with
Are you
the
though? I mean,
Xenoblade Chronicles.
look at the fountain of like it's like of games you have back there. You're telling me you're gonna play all those games in your lifetime?
If they get upgrade, well, some of the Switch 1 games I bought, if they get upgrades, like Xenoblade Chronicles 3, I still haven't played because Xenoblade Chronicles 2 performance was so bad, and Xenoblade Chronicles 1, the remaster, the image quality was so bad. So I really hope all the Xenoblade games get an upgrade. And Xenoblade Chronicles X came out a month ago. Again, I bought that as well,
Yeah,
but people found like references to a 60 FPS mode pretty early on, so that
yeah,
one's going that one's for sure going to get an update. I'm surprised
yeah,
they didn't lean in with that because that could have been a lot of people's launch game for the Switch too if they'd confirmed an upgrade for it. But I've
Yeah,
got that. I still haven't played Splatoon 3, so I'll get around to that at some point. Bayonetta 3, still haven't played that because again the performance just looked horrible. I've got a bunch of games I really want to play, and I just don't want to deal with the Switch One's performance level at this point. So if those games get upgrades, I mean, they're going to charge for them, which is the only thing.
yeah,
That is honestly kind of the main reason I bought. Um, I decided to get the Switch to play some of these Switch One games I haven't got around to. And
uh-huh.
I'm sure there'll be new games along too. Tears of the
What you?
Kingdom as well. Actually, now I mention it, I still haven't played that.
No, I
So
haven't either. I got it. It's just there. I got it for birthday or Christmas. It's like, yeah, I really want this game. I was like, yeah, chuck it in the pile. Ah, fuck it.
launch it across the room.
If we ever do YouTube full time, obviously, like then this will be our like jobs. I mean, you would like to, innit? If you could earn a living off off this channel, I would give my job up like that. You know what I mean?
Oh
If I
yeah,
was a yeah,
easily.
yeah, easily, like I would love to do this full time. And that's still in the back of my mind. We've been going since 2017. Obviously we've had a few iterations along the way. But it's just been a slow. It's not one of been those instant successes, if you could call it. We get, you know, we've had some good times, and we want to carry on doing this, and because it's like more of a hobby at the moment, thing we like to do. But if we could do it full time, oh, I would love to do it, and they'll give us an excuse to play the games. Obviously, like we wouldn't be able to stream any of the Nintendo ones because we'll get fucking slapped with copyright claims. Even streaming it now, I don't. They get on Twitch and shit like that. They get some you get some violations. So you get some angry notes from messages from Nintendo. I wish
They've been
Nintendo would
going.
be more
They've been
user
chase.
friendly. Yeah,
Yeah, they've been chasing channels that show
yeah,
emulation of their games as well.
yeah. That's true.
In
Yeah,
recent times, and obviously they shut down like the Switch emulators as well.
uh-huh.
And so yeah, they're really going after that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Not the friendly, cuddly company most people want to paint them as,
No,
really. They're very much a
then
conservative business.
I mean, it's like a lot with Japanese stuff. It's all cuddly, you know, got great like ambassadors, you know, cuddly Mario, Kirby, and all that. But they're cutthroat, mate. They will cut your nuts off if you fucking piss them off. Yeah, it's
But at
like
the very least, they'll
Miyazaki.
strike your channel.
Yeah, it's like Ghibli. They will burn you alive, mate, if you use any of their footage or anything like that. You know, it's not all happiness and joy sort of anime like companies, they get worked to the bone, mate. So it's not all
Mm.
sunshine and light, I tell you that. But anyway, enough about that. We can talk about that another time. But yeah, so I think that's pretty much. Oh yeah, I wanted to ask you one question. Are you going to watch the Minecraft movie?
No,
No, it's done
I've
really
played
well.
like 20 minutes of Minecraft about a decade ago, and I just didn't know what I was doing, so it's never really appealed to me.
But
Plus,
would
all
you
the
want to go?
shenanigans going on in
Yeah,
cinema
that's
at the
what I was going to
moment
ask.
is
Yeah.
very much putting me off and wanting anything to do with with that
Uh,
IP, which is probably a bit unfair. But it just I look at some of the videos on social media and just think, what's wrong
uh,
with people these days?
Yeah, well, it's the kids, isn't it, man? Once a thing becomes trend, you get a viral trend on TikTok or
Everyone wants
anything
to
like that.
copy it.
Everyone will jump on it because we're mindless. Well, especially the younger generation, Gen Z, and all that. Even I don't even know what the gen after that is called. The younger ones, Gen
Guess we circle back
fucked.
round to Alpha.
Gem fucked. Like I don't know how they're going to function in life. But we always say that, and they said that about us millennials, but we've sort of pulled through and done well. But yeah, I just don't understand it. It's I'm an old man, so I don't really know it. Well, because we're in that sort of sphere of that social media shit, we like I do understand some of the what they're doing. I don't agree with it. Obviously, poor staff have to clean up after them, and Jack Black's in it, so that's not great. And so is that prick, Jason Momoa, whatever his name is. Um, Everyone loves him. I don't like him at all. I heard he's a bit of a dickhead.
Is he?
But who? Yeah, but who's not these days? Everyone has got like a apart from Keanu Reeves, who's probably is the nicest person ever. Apparently, I would love to meet Keanu. Have just shake his hand
Whoa.
and share a sandwich with him or
Shake his
something.
hand and go, whoa.
Oh, but yeah, I think that's gonna. we're going to leave it there, Mr. Oz. I think this has been a fairly productive and well.
Very productive exercise.
Yeah. Well, you enjoy the rest of your bank holiday.
I
I
will.
shall get back to work, working for the Americans that we just slated. Well, not the Americans,
Back to work, Lammy.
the current government who seems to hate their allies, really hate
And
us because we've
everyone
been
else.
taking advantage of them. Apparently, they're the richest, powerfulest economy in the world, but they want more. Damn it! How dare you take advantage of them? You know what I mean? You can't have anyone else. You got to buy American. Like, yeah, we want your giant American cars on European roads and in places like Japan. Why aren't they buying up some massive SUVs and stuff for their tiny roads? God damn them! Fuck, if I like one more thing, if I was the British government, obviously not the whole thing, I would buy from Japan their tiny cars because that makes more sense than having giant cars like we have in the U. Because our roads
Easier
are
to
too
park as
small.
well.
It would be a lot easier. We're like Japan itself is bigger country than the UK, but we insist on having massive roads. And it's just like, and so much traffic jams and stuff get caused because cars and where I live down, near Bell Green, there's that bridge, that low bridge. The other day, a few weeks ago, a lorry tried to get under it. Didn't get under it because it was too low. And I was like, oh Christ. Why have we got these? Like the roads are so narrow and shitty. In the city, it's probably all right, but in the countryside, they're so tiny. But anyway, enough of that. Let's end it there. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This podcast is available on all good podcast sites apart from Apple Music, because boo Apple Music, boo you, boo.
Boo Tim
And
Apple giving money to Trump.
and boo all the billionaires. Apparently, all cozy up to Zuckerberg, that Tim Bezos. They're all obviously Elon Wanky Musk, whatever the fuck his name is. Yeah, boo all of you. Yeah, they're all cozying up to him. All the
Even
cronies.
without that, boo all of them.
Yeah, boo,
Billionaires.
boo all of you. Boo the people who sent that to Katy Perry to space. What a waste of money. That was Jeff Bezos, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, boo. Anyway, please subscribe to the channel or give us a listen on Spotify, which is owned by a Swedish company. Very nice Swedish people. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And we'll see you again on the next one. Say bye, Ross.
Be your pals.